Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Stuff Crust for the win here. I'm doing a Arc easy speedrun tutorial today. Um, it's also done somewhat on Master Chief Collection. I'll be showing some of the slight differences that MCC has over Halo 3 as well during these tutorials. I might need to make a separate tutorial for the earlier ones for the MCC slight things. I haven't decided yet. But this is one of the toughest levels in Halo 3, easy just to get consistently, so here we go. To begin with, you want to hold RB because you can get out actually a little earlier than what the game will let you get out of, like where it'll just drop you out of it automatically. So make sure you're holding RB. Here you can actually jump over these series of rocks. This first set of rocks you jump on, you can actually slide off of, so you want to be careful at where exactly you jump. Like where I was aiming, you want to jump in between there so you can get a hold right where I'm standing. And then you want to jump forward over here, and then you kind of want to do a slide jump off this small rock off the side for the quickest route. This isn't really necessary, it barely saves you any time, as you can just kind of walk around and it'll basically accomplish the same thing, so I wouldn't really worry about that. It's just some people will choose to do that. I'm coming up here. Make sure you have your sniper rifle out after you jump over this rock and jump onto this rock. Because you want to snipe the two brutes in front of you. One brute usually drops down in equipment occasionally. The other one has a brute shot. You always want to pick up the brute shot, and you always want to pick up either the flare or the DC. In the Master Chief Collection, you can no longer equipment jump off of flares, but you can still equipment jump off of DCs. So, if you're playing the Master Chief Collection, make sure to pick up that equipment or the power. I don't know if they drop a power drain over there. But the first method to get up here faster is to use the brute shot off of this rock and then equipment jump up onto this ledge right here. That's a quick way to get to the top of this mountain instead of walking the whole way around. The reason why you picked up equipment, and it shows right there, you use the brute shot and equipment from before. Here you can throw a grenade down, use the brute shot, and then equipment jump off of that little box. It's another quick way to do it. Or if you don't get an equipment drop, you can do the hardest method, which is throwing the grenade down and just brute shotting off. It's a lot harder than it looks without the equipment. The equipment makes it more lenient, I guess. There's two more ways you can do this. If you run over to this weird this weird fork looking thing, you jump onto the side in between the fork and then jump on top of the fork and then brute shot up the side to get up there a lot quicker. Or finally, the method that mostly everybody uses because it's easier and consistent and things don't always go wrong. You can jump on top of this rock and then jump right in between the two sides of the mountain, and you can get on top of there really easy. So coming up is, well, I guess I shouldn't explain that quite yet. Well, what you're first going to want to do is make sure that your sniper's fully reloaded. I guess it really doesn't matter that much, but you might as well. What you're going to want to do is, near this down pelican, there's a rocket launcher, and you want to switch out your brute shot for the rocket launcher. Make sure to reload the rocket launcher as soon as you pick it up, and then switch to your sniper rifle. Make sure your sniper rifle is out before you get on the mongoose. Okay, now here is one of the differences between MCC and Halo 3. So when you first start out, you're going to want to go and jump to the right side of this mountain, because you'll stay flatter when you land on the ground. But one of the major concerns here is, on MCC, is the grunt gets to the ghost really quickly. So if you don't get a smooth landing, it's a hard time to get the ghost without sniping grunt. So that can be a huge issue for MCC. But you'll see here, as on Halo 3, whenever you land this perfectly and you drive up to the ghost, you will clearly get the ghost before the grunt even makes it there. So that's just a noticeable difference in this game. Just be careful about getting there late, because sometimes the brutes can splatter you whenever you grab the ghost. Here's just showing me sniping the grunt before he gets to the ghost, so you can make sure that you get it real quick. You can get shot by the other brutes as well, which can flip your mongoose. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but make sure you stay to the right side of that mountain don't make sure you don't hit the tree, but you want to stay as close to that tree as you can because you'll land flatter. Coming up here is what is known as the deload. And what you want to do is there's going to be 2 rocks ahead of me, and right between the 2 rocks is where you want to climb the mountain. And by climbing this mountain and going over top of it, you will actually deload the enemies. Make sure you're not too far left of the mountain when you drop off of here, because otherwise the deload won't work. But as you can see, it deloads these enemies, but it deloads enemies later, which is more important. This deload right here is not as important. So the reason why I wanted you to keep the sniper out is because if you aim right where this dude's foot is and then switch to the rockets and shoot it from here, you can get a quick double kill, so you don't have to kill those guys later. It saves a little bit of time. Immediately boost down and then punch this wraith 3 times. You're getting on it. Sometimes it'll drop a DC. You want to pick that DC up if you can get it. See, I got the DC there. Coming up here, you want to immediately shoot the turret and then quickly strafe around these ghosts. You want to be able to shoot the ghosts in the back, so if you can get them to crash into that wall, it's easier to shoot them in the back. The grunts have so much health when you shoot them from the front, so try to get them to crash into the wall so you can shoot them in the back. Immediately kill the wraith that's shifting to the left, because he'll stick his back against the rocks, which makes it harder to kill. And then kill the other wraith. And then immediately go for the 3 brutes that start walking up the or up the side of the mountain, or hill, or whatever you want to call it. Kill all 3 of those with the ghost. Make sure you aim for the ones that try to run over to the empty ghost, because they're harder to kill when they're in the ghost. Sometimes the brutes in the turrets of the wraiths will get out as well, so be aware that there could be extra ones of those. But all you have to do to trigger all this is kill the 3 brutes, kill the turret guy, kill the 2 ghosts, kill the 2 wraiths. Make sure to grab that fuel rod gun from that case that I showed you. Switch out the sniper rifle for the fuel rod gun. Drive your ghost over under here, because whenever the dawn comes in and lands, it pushes everything away, including your ghost. So if you stay under here, you'll get back in your ghost quicker. Normally you try to boost out here sooner. I don't know why I was waiting there, but see, as far as that ledge is where you can go to trigger that cutscene. If you go any further, that cutscene won't trigger. So make sure you stay before that ledge before the cutscene goes off. Now we're going to want to just boost all the way to the location where we need to go. Obviously you want to boost a little better than what I did there, but just keep boosting until you get to the first wraith coming up. Not this wraith, but the next set of wraiths. If you get the deload from earlier, like I was saying, when you climb up that hill, you're going to see this. Well, yeah, you're going to see this. Right here, you're going to see no one in the wraith at all, so you can just quickly boost up and get into the wraith. The deloads aren't consistently like this. Sometimes you don't get a deload at all, sometimes you get half of a deload, sometimes you get just different enemies deloading. In my case here, I got both wraiths deloaded. As you can see, that second wraith is all disfigured. The turret that's up in front of me right here didn't spawn. Another turret in the middle of the bridge didn't spawn. But the goal of this area is to make sure to kill as many enemies as possible and leaving 3 enemies or less in the area. So you want to make sure to kill the wraith as quickly as possible, kill the turrets in the area, kill these guys as fast as possible. That's why the deload helps. What else is there to say? Sometimes like that brute did earlier, the brute will throw a power drain. If that's the case, just get out of the wraith and then just shoot fuel rod guns at the enemies or at the turrets just to make it quicker. You can pick up more ammo because one of the brutes has a fuel rod gun, so don't worry about ammo. Sometimes I think one of the brutes will drop a DC as well, so if you need a DC still, grab it there. Here I'm just showing you the fight in its entirety. If you don't get the deload, I recommend shooting one of those ghosts, because that'll make sure that you have 3 or less enemies in the area. But basically, same kind of strategy. Go around, shoot the wraith 3 times, go shoot the turrets, boost as much as possible, like, just keep boosting while you're shooting. Try to run over enemies while you're shooting other enemies. Like just little simple things like that save you time. Just try to keep moving forward. Try to keep shooting everything while you're moving forward. Just things like that. And as you can see, I got an achievement, which is pretty impressive as well. But yeah, this door can be a little annoying. It's like, I think it's 20 seconds after you kill everyone you need to kill when it opens up. But yeah, you can sometimes get into this weird thing where you can't even get the door to open for you, so it is what it is. But as soon as the door opens, now you're going to want to boost down the tunnel. Make sure as soon as you're down the end of this tunnel, you look to the right into the wall. Guilty Sparks spawns sooner if you look at the wall. I don't know if that's the case in MCC, but I know in Halo 3 Original that is a case that helps you out sometimes, is to spawn them quicker by looking that way. You immediately go over here and activate the button. That opens this door, and it opens the next set of doors. It's really tough to get this brute chopper in, so I recommend just going through it slow. You save more time than getting stuck in random spots. Here you can die by a fall timer, so just fall really slowly down the hill. Try to stay as snug against the wall as possible, otherwise you will die from a fall timer. Now you're going to want to boost down this hill as fast as possible if you want to do a different kind of way to get onto the scarab. If you don't get down here fast, the scarab will load, and then you won't be able to do the quick jump onto the scarab like I'm going to do here, or the next two that I'm going to do. So there's 3 ways to do an early scarab board here. One is to do a short board where I throw it right on those bullet holes a little bit further ahead of the shaded area, and you can get right into the back of this scarab. You do not need to jump into the grav lift, just run into the grav lift and it'll boost you up into the back of the scarab. And you just shoot the back of the shield twice and the scarab's dead. You will notice that I switched out the DC for the grav lift there. That's what you want to do to keep your DC so you can come back to it later. There I launched my brute chopper a little too far, but you want to try to keep the chopper as close to you as you can so you can get down here even quicker. The second one you can do is right in this deeper shaded area where you can see it extends a little bit further is where you can throw down the grav lift. And then what you want to do is you want to jump into the grav lift to get up to the right side of the scarab. There's a third way you can get onto the left side of the scarab. And what you want to do is before the really, really dark shaded area, there's kind of like a little like curved area where it's lighter. You kind of want to throw your grav lift in that area. It's kind of near a bunch of bullet holes as well. Right at the beginning of the bullet holes. And same thing, you jump into the grav lift to get to the back of the scarab. You can start shooting the back of the scarab as soon as it stays level. Once it hits like kind of like a straight horizontal, when it stands up, that's when you can blow up the back of the shield. If you can't do any of those and you don't feel comfortable with them, you can do a slower strat, which you can grab the grav lift and you can take the brute chopper up to the top of this ramp type thing. Shoot that fuel rod gun if he gets in your way. He can shoot your chopper and send you flying out of control, as well as the race can do that too as well. You want to throw that grav lift down at the front of the ramp and then ramp yourself onto the scarab and jump out right on top. It's probably the easiest and most consistent way, and you can just shoot the back because it's obviously a lot slower than the other scarab boards. But anyway, head back to where you dropped off your DC in this room. And grab the other chopper that you left there, or the chopper that spawns there automatically. If you don't have a DC, you might as well just boost all the way up this tower. Like, don't even go over to the ramp, just go right up this tower. And as soon as you're at the top of the tower, what you want to do is shoot these jackals. You want to kill all 4 jackals as fast as possible because that's what spawns in the pelican to move up for you. You can shoot these brutes on the ramp to get a DC as well. Some of them have a DC. One of them has a fuel rod if you need fuel rod gun ammo. He spawns at the bottom of the hill, so you have a lot of time. As you can see, that pelican's flying in. You have a lot of time to set up, so just kill the jackals first and then go along the hill and kill things if you need ammo or the DC. But make sure you're at the top of the hill whenever the pelican's at the bottom of the hill, because if you're at the bottom of the hill when the pelican's at the bottom, it will not fly up for some reason. Alright, so here there's 2 marines inside here. You want to kill the male marine with either a spike grenade or plasmas whenever they jump out. Either way, just kill the male marine, because he gets into a weird dialogue with Kill T-Spark and it loses time. So by killing him, it just skips that and you can walk right in after he opens the door.
Exit this way.
Alright, now you can do a slide jump off this giant hill. It can send you pretty far down the hallway, as you can see. Now it's pretty much just walking until you hit the button, so there's not too much to worry about here. You can optimize your movement by like jumping off the ceiling right here to get through those little like weird support structures. If you still don't have a DC, you can get a DC from a lot of these brutes down here. Like you saw that brute at the door drop a DC, just in case you still don't have one. So, some more walking. You can jump on this little roundabout thing so that you optimize your straight movement, I guess. Anyway, there's a little slide jump there as well. So whenever you're coming down here, there's going to be 4 invisible brutes in the room up here that you have to kill. If you have a DC, you can just ignore them. If you don't, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to kill them. So I'm going to show you the spawns of them. One's going to spawn up top here on the right. There's going to be one in the right corner down here. There's always one in the left corner on the opposite side. And then there's one on the top that jumps down, so he's right there as well. So that's a quick way to kill all of them if you don't have the DC. They won't always be in those particular spots. Like, some of them might run out of the way, but I mean, that's the general locations of where they spawn. Anyway, if you have the DC, you can just jump straight down, shoot 3 shots at the brute hammer guy so you can kill him real quick, and then throw the DC in the doorway. It causes the invisible brutes to not be able to get through the doorway, and the door will just lock up and it'll act like they were already dead. Make sure you kill those jackals as well, because they need to be dead as well. So what you can do down here is, since you have 2 rocket launchers, just spam your fuel rods at the first 2 guys and shoot the rockets in between the other 2 sets of brutes, because that'll instantly kill them. And then there's 2 jackals that, after you kill all those guys, that spawn up top through a doorway. Just start throwing grenades and shooting things over in that general direction, and you'll be able to kill them. And that's the end of the arc. So yeah, it's a long journey, but oh yeah, and one more thing. I've seen people not be able to get into the Pelican here. Do not stand at the ledge. Stand a bit further back. For some reason, the game won't trigger if you're standing right at the ledge. That's the arc for you, and hopefully the other ones will be done soon. So see you guys.